Okay, this is a just basically a shooting video with the Lynx 12 gauge. Just I'd seen a bunch of videos on this online, but most of them were kind of disassembly kind of things, as opposed to trying some different types of ammunition. If you're unaware, the Lynx is a 12 gauge shotgun that's a copy of a Sega and a Lynx, so it's a Chinese knockoff, which gave me pause. And just because I don't really care for buying stuff that's made in China if I can avoid it. I did fire one round just to make sure it wouldn't fall apart on me while I was shooting it, and so far so good. It comes with a single 5-round magazine, and then it's supposed to be able to take any of the Sega mags and things like that. There are some 12-round drums that I had seen years ago that, unlike the 20-round drums, which are enormous, were more of a reasonable size. So I'm going to see if I can't hunt any of those down. One of the things about the gun, and I don't know if we'll be able to get a good picture of it, you see 4 little circles here if they show up, and they get smaller as you go. So there's one circle here that's very tiny, and that's basically gas system is off. And then, a little more gas, and then, the most gas it's going to get. And that's how it comes set, which I'm going to imagine is probably what's going to be needed for any of the birdshot kind of stuff. Not sure about the slugs and the other ammunition. I did bring out some Fiocchi slugs, 1560 feet per second, 2 3/4 inch. This is a 3-inch chamber. They brought out some Federal 4-shot or number 4 shots, and I don't see a speed on it or anything. Oh, there it is, 1220 feet per second. I've got some Remington, 1300 feet per second, 7.5 shot. And then everybody's favorite, Winchester white box, the bane of any semi-auto shotgun's existence, and it's going at 1145 feet. In the magazine right now, I have the first rounds, the Remington, 2 rounds of the number 4 shot, and then 2 of the slug. I did bring out some 3-inch number 5 shot turkey loads, but they're 3-inch magnums, and I want to double check and make sure the gun is actually rated for 3-inch magnums as opposed to just 3-inch. Like I said, it's Chinese. That does give me some pause. So I'm just going to be shooting into the berm. Really, this is just sort of a function test. Each of these first 3 types of ammunition that are in the magazine have the brass base, whereas the cheap Winchester white box has that aluminum base. My 1100 would not feed anything with an aluminum base, but it did pretty well with anything with the brass base. So let's see how we do. I've got, like I said, I've got 5 rounds loaded up. The gas system is on its highest setting, and we'll see if everything feeds through. So the first up is the 7.5 shot Remington. Those 2 right there were the number 4 shot, the heavy field load Federal, and these last 2 are slugs. Those last 2 kind of kick a little harder. It does not have a hold open on the last shot, but in order to get the magazine in, you really do need the bolt back, otherwise it's really hard to cram that thing in. So basically you just pull it back, and then right here inside the trigger guard essentially is your hold open. So it fed and fired all 5 of those, which, that's certainly encouraging. And so I'm going to load up some of these lovely high quality Winchester white box rounds, and we'll see how this does. Like I said, most shotguns don't like these at all, so we'll see. And last round. The magazine, you do kind of have to put a little pressure to get the rounds to go in, but it's not bad. The recoil on the birdshot wasn't bad. The slugs, if you did that all day, that might not be too pleasant. All right, that even went in kind of slowly. That doesn't bode well, but we'll see how it does. This is 5 rounds of that cheap Winchester white box, basically the worst stuff you can find. And it ejected, and it's going. Now, all the holes are very close to me, so the ejection wasn't exactly what I would call great, but it did eject all 5. So, you know, credit where credit is due. The shotgun did feed those. And, you know, these are the first, I put one through, like I said, and that's 10. So this is coming up on rounds 11 through 15. I'm at least moderately impressed that it fed those at all. I mean, if you're buying a semi-auto shotgun like this, you're buying it so that you can shoot the cheap stuff. You don't want to buy this and then spend a huge amount of money on the actual shotgun shells. You know, you're buying this just basically, for a lot of people, it's just kind of a toy. So, you know, you don't want to have to go out and buy the higher dollar shells. Again, I'm not sure why it kind of slowly works its way forward on the bolt there. But, you know, we'll see if it does these 5 as well. And it did. Well, one of the reasons that I bought this particular shotgun, as opposed to trying to hunt down one of the Vepers or one of the, what do you call it, Segas, is that it was $400 through Classic Firearms is where I got it. They didn't give me any money or anything, so I ordered it on like a Thursday or a Friday, and I got it the next week. So they had the best deal. Everywhere else I've seen them, they've been about $500. It was, I think, $431 shipped. Let's see if I pull this thing way back, if it'll go any faster. That was at least a little better. I gotta say, I'm more than a little impressed here. I'm gonna see if we can't make it through the rest of this box of Winchester White. If we can, you know, to me that's a good sign for the shotgun. Just being able to handle the cheap stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna shoot a huge amount of, you know, slugs or higher dollar shotgun rounds anyway. So, you know, I've got 9 total rounds left because, like I said, I did fire one just to see if the gun would fall apart on me, and it hasn't. Okay, 5 more. Well, I'm noticing the ejection's getting a little bit better. I mean, most of the hulls are still very close to me, but those last few kind of went a little ways. So that's at least something. Maybe that's something that'll just kind of wear in. I did clean it when I got it home. I just ran a patch around it and through it and stuff like that. I did disassemble it. The manual is really terrible as far as it telling you how to, you know, orient the bolt when you're putting it back in. You know, it doesn't really give you that information. All right, so we'll do another slug since I only had 4 rounds of the birdshot left. The Winchester White, so yeah, made it through a whole box. If it feeds these last 4, the slug I expect it to feed without any trouble, but if it feeds the last 4, it made it through an entire box of Winchester White, and this is a completely unmodified gun. You know, unlike the Segas, which, you know, tended to need quite a bit of work to feed the really cheap stuff. Yeah, and the ejection there, I'd say that's about 10 feet from me. On that one, whereas, you know, these guys are definitely not going as far. You know, it's just the oomph factor is not really there with the Winchester White. Well, to kind of wrap things up, it fired 24 rounds semi-auto of the Winchester White. It fired all the other stuff without any trouble. That was on its best gas setting, or its most gas setting. You can dial that back a little bit, which you could probably do if you were, in fact, while we're kind of standing here finishing this up, I'll see if I can't play with that real quick. You can probably get away with having a lower gas setting with some of your other types of ammunition. I mean, I kind of doubt it would feed the Winchester White box on anything other than the most open gas setting. But here we've got it down on the kind of the medium, and I'll put in 1 of each, and we'll see if it feeds these real quick. Dang, that still went 10 feet. That one went even farther. Now I kind of wish I had a little bit of Winchester white box to try out and see if it would go on the one of the lower gas settings. Since it fed all of those, I'll drop it down to the low gas setting and try it one more time and see if all 3 of those feed like they did there. Wow. I'm actually very impressed with this. The fit and finish is what you'd expect from, you know, essentially Soviet bloc country kind of a thing. But other than that, you know, this shotgun is really impressed. All right, let me try these last 3. And this is on the lowest gas setting. So, lowest gas setting, and it still fed all of those. Like I said, I don't have any Winchester white left to try out, but I've got to say, initial shooting impressions, this is actually very impressive. This is the Lynx 12 gauge semi-auto shotgun.